Welcome back to another vlog. We're doing some more home things today, just going in and getting a few more pieces. So today's agenda is a new TV for this guy. That's going to be your housewarming gift from you to you. I got my rug, so he gets his TV. That's only fair. So yeah, we're going to go have a look at that. I think you're pretty much set on the one that you want.
Yep.
And then I feel like I'm bouncing around here. And then go and figure out how big this is. And then the next essential item is a vacuum cleaner. So exciting. Which we've just been managing, doing some sweeping. We've been borrowing my mum's one here and there because originally we were maybe going to get one from someone who wasn't using theirs anymore, but then it turned out to be faulty or no good, so that it didn't end up happening, which was fine. So yeah, we're just going to go get one today. And then what else do we need to do? Or were they the main things?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just have a look and see if there's any good ones in here.
Where?
I'll be normal.
Okay. Oh yeah, cool. Because yeah, I think there was one at Adriatic Furniture that I wanted to have a look at, but I don't know, I just feel like that's out in Nunawading, so it's a bit further out. But to be honest, I feel like I would rather dedicate another day to going and having like a decent look at, like we can have a look at some today.
Yeah.
But dedicating a day to go out there, and I just feel like you need to have a certain headspace to go couch shopping, and I feel like I'm not in that today. I feel like there's too many things to get, you kind of get over it. And when it comes to looking at a couch, like you need to be making a good, thorough decision with that. So I think, yeah, we'll have a little sus today, but I think the couch is a problem for another weekend.
I said to him, do you think there's much difference between two? He's like, oh yeah, there's heaps difference, this one's way better. And obviously as a salesman, but I could tell myself just looking at it as well.
Sure.
So I was like, oh yeah, if I'm going to spend any money, you might as well just get the better one.
And if you're really happy with it.
And it was like $1,200 off, and that soundbar was $1,200, so I basically got that for nothing.
Okay, it's basically free.
Basically free. Boy math.
For sure. And I guess like if you get the one that you're really happy with, you're probably going to keep it for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. So, because how old's mine now? Do we get it in 2020?
Yeah, like
3 or 2021? Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Mm.
And then we can sell it on Marketplace for a little bit. Probably only like $100 or something, but
still
better than nothing. And now for the Ryobi vacuum.
Yes. Which we basically pretty much already figured out what we want here as well. So hopefully it won't take us too long. I like shopping like this. We've done your research online.
That's how
and yeah, I know, I love it. In and out. Yeah.
Do that one or that one.
Yeah, I hate window shopping so much.
Get out.
I'm unfortunately no help in this department. Actually,
it is. I don't think we'd better use them in.
Really want it up on your wall? Well, because I was thinking we're going to get an L-shaped couch there, and then if you put it on the wall, you can tilt it. So if you see the couch over there, there's another one
Is that
in the middle of the wall.
the one that comes out from
Yeah,
the
it comes
wall?
out and tilts. Putting it through to get the TV, and then next minute Mum's walking off with the salesman. I thought, oh shit.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Dylan's got his new toy up and running. Looking good. Happy.
Yep, very.
And then we're just doing a quick tidy up of all the new stuff. The study is still a disaster. Don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, we just got to run around to do a few more things. We'll just leave it like that for now, and then we'll get it on the wall eventually. Yeah, here's your second chance to get a bun and sausages as well, baby.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. No. It's not really right now.
See, I'll come back to Bunnings to get screws because we couldn't find them before, and we were in a rush to get out because we were waiting. His parents went and picked up the TV and stuff, so we had to get out to meet them.
That's what sort of stuff is.
Oh yeah, for the pictures and stuff.
Wall hooks there.
Oh, it depends. Do you want to put holes in the wall, or would you rather use commando hooks, or do you not mind?
Okay.
Okay.
It's hard to patch up.
Okay. Alright, there's the towel rack or the kitchen rack up and finished. Put Dylan straight to work, wasted no time, and he did such a good job. So yeah, it's awesome to get some of those things just off the bench and up out of the way. And yeah, I really like it. I think it looks super cute. And there's kind of the kitchen as a whole now. So I just feel like it's really, there was just like a lot of blank space up there, and it's just kind of filled that in a little bit more, made it look a little bit more interesting. So yeah, it's really coming together. Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but the step Dylan's grandma gave me, and it is the best thing ever. So I can get into all of my cupboards now at the top here. So that's coming really good handy. If you're a short girl, you'll feel that. Alrighty, hosting family dinner tonight. So I've just been rushing around trying to put food on and getting the place looking amazing. So I'm just doing roast potatoes, pasta salad, and I've got roast chicken in. So yeah. It's now Wednesday afternoon. I just went home to pick up some deliveries from home because I'm still off from my parents' house now, because I'm still getting stuff delivered there, because I just don't know what the situation here is, being in an apartment building, getting things delivered here, and to be honest, I don't really want to test it. I don't really want to find out. So I'm just getting everything sent to home so that it is, I know it's going, someone's going to be there and there's not other people walking past it, which I'm going to open up. And I'm really keen for this one because I'm finding that with lighting here at the moment, when we're sitting down to like watch the TV or watch a movie or something, we're going to like leaving the hallway light on. So we just need like, not a full-on light, just like more of a soft light in the corner somewhere, so it's not like completely dark either. And I think this will be perfect. Alright, it's Monday afternoon now. I don't even remember the last thing that I recorded. So yeah, I'm just having a bit of kiwi fruit. I feel like I kind of look like a kiwi fruit today. But I was just about to start meal prepping a dessert thing that I've been trialing the last 2 weeks. And what I like about this one is you can make it in advance and just keep it in the fridge, which means that you can just grab it and go. Because I've been doing a YoPro choc top. If you also follow me on Instagram, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, because I've been having this for months, maybe even a year, no exaggeration. And I really enjoyed that one, but every single day you have to make it, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but I just feel like when you prep dinner, make dinner, do all the dishes, make that, sit down to have that, and then have to do more dishes, it just feels like you're just constantly in the kitchen, you don't sit down much. So that's what I like about this protein mousse one. You just grab it out the fridge, enjoy it, and I just feel like I'm not in the kitchen as much as well. So yeah, I'm going to make up a couple of batches of that, hopefully for most of the week. And yeah, I'll take you through the recipe on that one too. Actually, I've just remembered that I've got to do the marinade for the salmon tonight. So I'll do that first, and I'll also show you what that entails as well. It's super easy. It's just from, what's it called? It's the dinner recipe book by Recipe Tin, and my mum has it, is obsessed with it, made so many things, and I've used it as well. So when I moved, I just remembered all these ones from that. So yeah, that's what it's from. So I'll quickly show you. I just need a bigger bowl. So I'm gonna go 2 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and then 1 tablespoon of soy. Then just got to mince the garlic and the ginger, but it's like a teaspoon of each. Alrighty, I finally chopped the ginger and garlic, and that is what it ends up looking like. Get our salmon in, and then we just coat them all in it. then we'll just leave that in the fridge to marinate, which it needs a minimum half an hour. And then anywhere up to overnight, obviously. Yeah, I feel like you either love salmon or you hate it. It definitely is a very like fishy fish, but I love it. It's in the rotation at least once a week at the moment. It is a bit of a higher fat meal, but salmon just has so many fantastic fats in it. Like it's just really good omega-3s. Now that's done, we'll move on to the mousse prep. So I just did the quick math because I'm making 10 serves of this, so I can hopefully get it through the whole week, and also because this hand mixer isn't mine, I've stolen it from home, and my sister wants it back, so I'm just going to try and smash out a whole heap while I've got it. So starting with the cream cheese, we're going to go 2 packets of these. 40. So I'm using leftover caramel from last week, and then I couldn't get another caramel, so I'm just going to use vanilla to make up the rest. So I'm going to go 840 grams. But yeah, I just thought while I'm doing this, I'd speak on my experience with my own eating and eating habits in the past as well, because if you have just come across me, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm also a qualified nutritionist. I went and studied nutrition science at Deakin for 4 years, it took me in the end, and then I'm also a coach and a personal trainer as well, and that's pretty much what I predominantly do with myself. But yeah, I came from a background of having really disordered eating in my teenage years. I was just always very self-conscious of my body, really hated my shape, always felt very like chubby with like heaps of cellulite, and just just didn't really feel confident with myself. And as a result of that, I always felt very stressed and anxious around food. Like I always feared putting on more weight and getting more out of shape, and feeling like I had to earn food all the time by doing like a lot of running and things like that. And I felt like if I didn't run, then I couldn't eat the same types of foods and things like that. And yeah, it was just a whole thing. And I just used to skip meals in high school and things like that too. Like I wouldn't take any food to school at all. I would just go the whole day without eating, which doing that now for me would just be impossible. Like I would not cope, but just stupid shit like that. And it wasn't until I got out of no, actually, when I was still in high school, I luckily had an epiphany around the whole thing. And I'll make a more detailed video on my journey with just like health and fitness and stuff as well, because there's definitely a lot to go into. But just to summarize, I was very lucky that I kind of had an epiphany early on. I had a friend who was just like having a hard time and just not feeling good, and when I sort of stripped all back and thought, you know, what are the very basic things that you can do to look after yourself to feel like you can be in a better spot? And it was just things like, you know, getting enough sleep, going for walks, eating fruits and vegetables, like basically all the basic shit that we know we should do. And that's when I just sort of realized I'm being stupid doing what I'm doing, because I'm not doing what I can to look after myself, and that's why I feel so miserable doing this. And yeah, that's when I just sort of realized that most of the time it's not a knowledge problem. Like we know what it is that we should be doing and what we need, because literally the Australian dietary guidelines, like when I went to uni to learn about nutrition, I thought I was going to be learning all this groundbreaking stuff, and it was literally just like refer to the Australian dietary guidelines, and I was like, oh shit, is that it? Like, is that all? So yeah, it's not a knowledge problem. We have all the knowledge that we need. We can literally Google anything. What gets in people's way is it's more of an execution problem. So when it's in our own progress, in our own bodies, we're so much more emotionally invested, and that's why we don't always make the most logical or sensible decisions around stuff, especially when we want change so rapidly as well. We are more likely to resort to things that are unhealthy in order to get there as well. So yeah, and the same thing when it comes to food. I used to feel very scared of food all the time, and like I avoided certain things, I couldn't have certain things, and through learning more about it, it doesn't really have to be that complicated either. And something that really helped me understand it on a deeper level as well is food tracking. And I know that people are either all for food tracking or they're really against it. I know especially in like when it comes to eating disorders, it's usually the opposite. Like if you're recovering or struggling with that, you definitely don't want to track because you don't want that fixation on the numbers. But in my experience, I actually found knowing those stats really helpful for me, because I could see what was actually helping or happening with my food, and therefore I could make more logical decisions around it instead of more emotional ones, because you can actually see how the data is stacking up. So yeah, once you sort of see the composition of your food through tracking as well, like what great sources of protein are, what great sources of carbs, fats, vice versa, that's when you can really start to understand how they all interconnect and can play a role together. And that's when you can know for certain how much of what foods you need, because if you're lacking protein, that's when you know you can add maybe an extra 20 to 30 grams of chicken into a meal to get the protein that you need. If you're a bit over in fats, it's when you can sort of look at where your fats are coming from and pull back on them a little bit if you're having that little bit too much, because fats are more energy dense, meaning that if your goal is mostly fat loss, for example, they're going to add up your calorie amount so much faster and give you less food volume, which in a deficit isn't ideal. You want to feel like you're eating a lot of food so that you just feel overall more satisfied and more full. And then with carbohydrates, so one thing I get all the time from clients, and even myself, I've struggled a lot with this in the past, but change the spoon for a different lever, is getting enough carbs in, like where to get them from. And once you know where you're sort of lacking, for example, with dinner, like there's no rule around how much rice you need to have. It depends on what else you've had in that day and what suits your macros. So if you're behind in carbohydrates, you can literally just add an extra half a cup of rice or 50 grams to get the amount of carbs that you need to then help with your training performance too. The first step is definitely to not think of what you can't have. That's kind of the entirely backwards way to go about it, and that's the mistake I made. Was when you want to improve your health and improve your body composition, it's very normal to straight away focus on what you're going to eliminate and what you can't have. So for example, thinking that you've got to take away all your chocolate and your biscuits and your lollies and things like that. Give me a second. 8:40, I've gone a bit over. Which definitely, those things typically are more calorie dense, which means that you first want to use your calories on protein and micronutrient dense foods that are going to make you feel great. But it doesn't mean you can't have them at all. It just depends on where everything stacks up with what else you've had in your day. So that's why they say majority whole foods, and then with whatever you've got left over, have the fun stuff as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Am I going to be that meticulous? Yes, I am. Yeah, it's too less. Close enough. Close enough. Okay, now adding the protein. Don't tell Jared I'm not using Ivy. I've run out. Or Dylan took it to work with him. So I'm just using this spare one because it's the chocolate flavour. How much am I putting in at this? 6 grams. So yeah, instead of thinking about what you can avoid and take out, you want to first focus on what you can add. So if you feel like your diet's not amazing, go back to the basics. If you're not having enough water, start drinking more water. If you feel like you're not having enough fruit, add some more fruit back in. If you're feeling like you're not having enough vegetables, aim to add those back in first. And you'll find that when you feel better having those, you feel fuller, more satiated, more nourished. You'll be less likely to reach for those other things anyway, that our bodies will naturally crave the sugars in that, because carbohydrates are the body's preferred energy source. So we will naturally gravitate towards that because we convert that into energy so efficiently. So if your body's getting the energy and the nourishment it needs from other things, you're going to be less likely to lean on that stuff anyway. And then that will also help you create that calorie deficit or meet better nutrient requirements depending on what your goal is, whether it's weight loss or just improving your general health. So, and when you come from that mindset as well, 96, 1 gram off, close enough. When you come from that mindset as well of adding rather than avoiding, it's just a much more healthier headspace to be in as well, because what makes healthy eating and being in a deficit harder is the food focus that you get, especially when you feel like you can't have things and things aren't allowed. You just fixate it even more. So when you feel like it doesn't have to go anywhere, it's not banned, it's not off limits, you'll think about it a little bit less, and you'll just be coming from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. And that's what makes the whole approach feel more like a lifestyle rather than just like a diet or like a phase that you have to do. Where is the cocoa powder? There it is. Last step, cocoa powder, 60 grams of this. Just give it a quick stir so that the food blender doesn't make an absolute mess of it, because I reckon as soon as it starts, it's just going to be powder everywhere. Presentation, 0 points. But oh well. Just going from bad to worse. So I just ended up baking the salmon in the oven because that's just the easiest way to do it, and then this stuff can like burn on the pan as well. So yeah, just doing that with some rice and kale salad as well. This one is literally just from Woolies, and Aldi have a version of it too. And yeah, it's just so simple and easy to make. So yeah, that's dinner tonight.
Look at that.